sports, entertainment, top 100 music on your Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 93.9.
Do not touch that dial.
Stay ahead of the curve and get updates on the latest trends in politics, government, policies, education, economy, social development, amongst others.
We're happy to announce today that both the federal government and the organized labor have agreed on an increase on the 62,000 naira minimum wage.
Join
Ayodeji Ajishope
and
Adedamola Lafenwa
on from the dailies every weekday from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. on Solutions 93.9 FM as they dive into the headlines with in-depth analysis and feedback from you on different stories from the national dailies. Start your day by gaining fresh perspectives, uncovering the story behind the story, and join the conversation. Because your voice matters. From the dailies, the conversation never stops.
The Senate of each country at all time comes in with a solution through dialogue and consensus to be able to solve such problems. And the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has been doing that since 1999. It's because of this we decided to put politics, ethnicity, regionalism aside to seize among ourselves in order to find the way forward in respect to the issues surrounding the tariff reform bills. It is on this note that we extended our view to the executive arm of government, and it was agreed that there should be a forum to sit down to look at the areas that are creating disagreements in order to resolve them, so that the entire country will remain united in our effort to solve our problems.
Turn it off. Right, the Deputy Senate President there, Jibrin, speaking on the tax reforms and why a lot of things were done on it yesterday. Aside from that, there was also, something raised on the Port Harcourt refinery at the National Assembly as well, and we were delving into that as well. I mean, a lot of questions have been asked. Yes, we already know that the Port Harcourt refinery has kick-started. We've been getting a lot of, good news per se. But there was a concern raised by a senator representing Nasarawa yesterday, which we'll be delving into. This is from the Dailies on Solutions 93.9 FM. My name is Favor Olorantola. I'll be going through some of the stories, the major headlines, and then I'm going to be connecting with our analyst on the program, Comrade Ayodeji Ajishope, where we'll be delving into these stories and talking in-depthly. Stay tuned. Don't change the dial. Headline on the Nigerian Tribune here is regarding the first sound that you heard this morning. Senate suspends action on tax reform bills, summons emergency meeting with Attorney General of the Federation to iron out disputed areas. Well, for that, that is on the Nigerian Tribune this morning. On The Nation, it states here, tax reform bills, Senate executive in bid for consensus, organized private sector tax experts on Sanwo-Olu reform a necessity. On the Nigerian Tribune here, already taken, we also have more on the Vanguard newspaper on tax reform bills. Why Senate suspended further legislative action? See page 5. Set up 10-man committee to liaise with federal government others. Comes to meet its AGF today. Atiku LP welcome Senate's decision embodies spirit of democratic governance, and we are trying to protect those now opposing reform. Oyi Daily. Stories, there was also something raised at the National House of Assembly yesterday, and I'll be taking that while trying to connect with Comrade Ayodeji Ajishokwe this morning. Comrade, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, Comrade, good morning.
Good morning to you, my dear comrade sister. Good morning.
It's a pleasure to have you this morning.
It is certainly a pleasure to ride with you on Thursdays like this.
Again. Okay, let's first start with the tax reforms. The tax reform bill. I mean, the suspension for further legislative action. A lot has been popping up concerning this, and a lot of people saying there might be it might actually go well in the long run. And the North still trying their best to, bring up some concerns. Let's just talk about this. Then we go to Port Harcourt Refinery, which is going to be what we'll be delving into per se today.
All right.
Yeah. I can hear you.
Oh, yes. Regarding the tax bills, right? There are four of them.
Yes.
You see, you're talking about the northern concern. Of course, it is legitimate to have concerns. We are in a union, and genuine concerns must be not only entertained, must be properly addressed. You understand? Genuine concerns. If you have reservations, you air them. We are in the federal union, and that is one of the things that has to be addressed. And it has to be addressed in an open, transparent manner. But what are the tax bills about? I don't want to start dwelling on that anymore. It is clear that largely it is in the interest of Nigerians individually and even in a corporate manner. But one of the concerns that have been expressed by it is unfortunate that the thing is now being presented in a north-south divide. That is not true. You see, when Nigeria was founded, everything was tax-based. There was no crude oil. We were dependent on our granules, our coal, and our cocoa. And there was a lot of tax. Even in the north, there is what they call the Jangali tax. Cattle heads were taxed. It was that serious. Cattle heads. But when oil came, everybody forgot about taxation. Oil money was flowing. And that was how we got into this situation. But things are no longer what they used to be. So this is an attempt to address the issue of fiscal federalism. Fiscal federalism. And you see, when people pay tax, they are likely to watch what is happening. But the issue is that the decision of the National Assembly, both houses, the Green Chamber and the Red Chamber, to suspend deliberations. It has been referred to, after the second reading, it has been referred to the committee in the Senate. Yeah. It is appropriate to suspend, you understand, and address issues. But I can assure you that those fears will be addressed, those concerns will be addressed. And then anyway, the president ordered that they should suspend the National Assembly and the Ministry of, Ministry of Justice, those who drafted the law. They should work together and do needful, you understand? Mm-hmm. The president instructed that even from France or South Africa, wherever he was there. And that is why those things, the conversations have been suspended. So the only unfortunate thing is the government. That committee is called Fiscal and Tax Reform, not just tax reform, fiscal. So when that committee was named, the government did not do the needful in terms of public engagement. And like it was only Taiwo Oyedele that was running around and promoting it, and I applaud Taiwo Oyedele and committee. And he has been the one running around and promoting it and explaining. We didn't get that from government, you understand? And it was not looking like it's and the only issue that has been raised there publicly is the issue of value-added tax. The value-added tax is not going to be giving advantage to Lagos and Rivers. Even some people are calling it that Tinubu was going to sell the whole of Nigeria to Lagos State. I mean, those are political statements. We have always known that when people are saying in the interest of my people like Senator Undume, the last time he talked about the interest of the North, regarding the central bank, we found out that he was talking about the interest of his people. So when people are going around, running around and saying the interest of the North, what have they done for the Northern people? Is it not in the North that we have tens of millions of Nigerians uneducated and unskilled? So they should stop deluding themselves. If that story is not selling, it is no longer valuable. But who are they talking to? Is he working with them? Well, I am sure that this one will be resolved and we will move forward. And I mean the nation as a nation move forward. Look, this is one of the fundamentals of the defect of this union. We need to address it. It's about fiscal federalism. This was how we operated until the military came, and then the oil came, and then the petrodollars, and then we forgot about taxation. We never updated our tax laws, and this is going to bring a lot of relief for workers. At the state level, most states from level 12, 14 downwards, they're not going to be paying tax. The governors have interest in this because they're not going to get paid anymore. So the governors, but incidentally, the northern elites are doing the job of the governors for them. The governors are afraid. You pay 70,000 now. Anybody that earns minimum wage, earns 77, 70, 80, 100, 120, they won't pay any tax. Is that all in the interest of Nigerian workers? But we are not hearing Labour talking in support of it. That is very strange to me. So, but I'm sure they will resolve it. They will resolve it. Somebody assured me that as long as Abbas is the speaker, and as long as Akpabio is the Senate president, they will get the job done. Not for Tinubu this time, but for Nigeria and Nigeria.
Okay, it's nice that you actually mentioned for Nigeria and for Nigeria. Something was there was a concern raised about the Port Harcourt refinery. I mean, NNPC is still insisting that the Port Harcourt refinery is already in motion. Senator Ahmed Wadada of Nasarawa West Senatorial District mentioned a lot of things concerning this yesterday. This is going to take a while, but I'd like you to listen to it, and then we address something that he mentioned concerning that. Are we good?
All right.
Okay.
Good to go.
1,000 naira. Your whole bag is full. The whole bag you are carrying is full with 500,000 naira. On Port Harcourt refinery, our colleagues were there. They saw what they saw. But the question I have, from the day NNPC said Port Harcourt refinery has commenced operation, how many trucks have been able to lift products from Port Harcourt refinery? Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, technically I have this Senate to know about Port Harcourt refinery. And unless and until NNPCL answers this question, we will not be bamboozled into commending or rush into commending NNPC on Port Harcourt refinery. Mr. President, sir, distinguished colleagues, listen to this technicality. A 60-kilometer distribution pipeline from Boni Terminal to PH1, that is Port Harcourt 1, that should supply crude oil to the refinery is not operational because of the leaks and vandalizations. So if you have been barging crude in 5K barrels, barges and evidence does not suggest there is actual supplies of feedstock, Where are you delivering the crude to for the frivolous claim of a refinery? Unless, and of course, the OFSEC RON 94 that is dross and heavy in sulfur landed at Okirika Jetty and was sent to Port Harcourt 1 for curing with naphtha condensates. This is the time for the National Assembly leadership on mid and downstream to step in and compel the NMDPRA and Standard Organization of Nigeria to organize a third-party Robin roundtable for verification of the octane rating and sulfur level of the so-called products trucked out to ensure it complies with AFRI 5 framework. Mr. President, let me not be misunderstood. There is nothing wrong in commending the government for Port Harcourt to be back on the stream. But Port Harcourt being back on the stream, what obtains? Is A standing for A and B standing for B? It is the technicality now we're talking about, so that we don't run for 1 month, 2 months, and then stories come up. But this is an information that I've given to the Senate for the Senate to work on. Verify it so that we move on. We shouldn't be, the tantalization is okay, it's enough. We must stand as representatives of the people, because whatever we do here, in as much as it does not provide the needed and required succor to the citizenry, it translates to nothing.
Comrade Ayodeji Adishokwe, did you hear what he said?
Yeah, I had some more challenges with the audio. Who was that speaking, please?
That was Senator Wadada of Nassau West Senatorial District, talking about the Port Harcourt refineries. Let me give you just a brief summary of what is said.
Yeah, I heard him that they visited, and then the pipelines are bringing the crude and all of that, right?
Vandalized, yes. Vandalism, a lot of technicalities not going well, yes, concerning the Port Harcourt refinery. And he also made mention of the fact that if all of these things are not being checked, in 2-3 months, the Port Harcourt refinery may not be functioning anymore. Now, a question was raised. Why is it that the NNPC is not being questioned concerning this? You just hear the statistics.
NNPC is not what?
A question was raised that why is it that there is no there is nothing being done to check all of these facts that NNPCL is saying. It doesn't want the Port Harcourt refinery to stop functioning in 2-3 months. It was just trying to raise this concerns concerning that. Of course, Senator Akpabio, the president, Godswill Akpabio, did not let him conclude what he was saying yesterday, concerning the commendation of the government and a lot of things.
Yeah, legitimate concerns that should be the legitimate concerns of any Nigerian.
Yes.
For that matter.
Yes.
And more so those who represent us, either in the House of Rep or in the Senate chambers of the Republic. I guess, because the issue of oil has become like the lifeblood of Nigeria and Nigerians, especially since Bola Ahmed Tinubu came into office, I have taken special interest and I have engaged specialists, specifically that Port Harcourt refinery. On 3 occasions, at least, I brought him live into that studio and twice virtually to address this issue. You see, there is a lot that people fail to understand about the processes. They say they are blending. Don't they understand that what you call it also involves some blending? People should understand some of these things. But be that as it may, the concerns are mainly about the sustainability of Port Harcourt.
Yes.
What makes Port Harcourt refinery vulnerable? That refinery that was repaired, I was authoritatively informed A man that worked in that refinery for 27 years told me that he got there in 2007 at management level. He had been there before, but he came back at management level. He said he got there 2007, and until he left in 2022, this small refinery that was repeated never worked for one day. So 2007, 2017, that is 10 years plus 17 years. Until it was fitted. That means it was not even working before then. It is the bigger one that stopped working. And he told me that it did not stop working. They were asked to shut down in 2015. Now, this is just 60,000 barrels. It has been repeated. It is an old refinery owned by Shell Petroleum Development Corporation. Now, it is just 60,000 barrels. And you see, the production of PMA, from what I was told and learned, is that PMS, what we call petrol, the process of producing it is of course a bit more expensive because of the additives and all of that. So what they're doing is doing I don't want to get into the technicalities of their language, but they bring in some chemicals that is produced at LMA. Warri. Warri is not just a refinery, but also a petrochemical company. So we bring some of those petrochemical stuff to mix with, I think the one they call naphtha. Yes, naphtha. To mix with it. That's what they call blending. It produces petrol. Apparently, it is cheaper for them that way, rather than going through the processes of CDU, crude distillation processes, to directly produce PMS. But you see, some of these things are so complicated that if you don't hear it over and over again and, catch up on it. So the Nigerians are a little bit not very well knowledgeable about these processes. And the person I've been talking to is not an engineer. He's actually, what do you call them? Not a chemical engineer, a chemical analyst or something like that. So these are the issues. We should try and understand the processes and how these things work, so that when we engage, we are engaging productively.
But what about the 2 months, the 2 month gap that he mentioned? The fact that if all of these things are not being checked, the vandalism, the pipe that is, a lot of things being checked.
Why legitimate? Because what do you call it? Purako Refinery has a jetty. You understand? It has a jetty, a big jetty, and that makes it accessible by sea. You understand? And of course, the Niger Delta boys and all those who want to engage in acts of vandalism have direct access to it. But they have NNPC has the Navy. Navy patrols the waters. You understand? So, and Navy does the patrol of the waters there. And maybe people are in NNPC facilities, not just NNPC facilities, but the facilities of some other oil companies too, especially the flow stations. Certainly, if there's a need for that, they would demand for necessary protection, and they will get it. I am very sure about that.
So the 2 months afterwards, non-functional, may just be just a concern, may not work. I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised in the next 2 months if
the Navy is there. Nigeria's Navy is there. They are at the flow station. They are there, secure. Of course, that's securing Nigeria's territorial waters. That is the Atlantic. So it is a part of Nigeria's territorial waters. And our oil facilities and installations are critical national assets. Don't forget that. It is not just only the Navy. The NSCDC is there too. The one they call civil defense, they are there. They are charged with protecting our critical national infrastructure and assets. So, yes, legitimate concern, but I believe our security agencies in the Navy and the NSCDC are capable and up to the task.
Okay. I would say you say so. You said so. All right, at this junction, Comrade Adeja Adishokwe, let's, call it a day. Thank you very much
All
for
right.
joining me today. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Looking forward to you seeing you next Thursday, riding with you next Thursday.
Let me chuckle at that. It's a pleasure. Thank you very much.
When Thursday comes.
I will
Take
see
care.
you
Have a
Saturday.
wonderful day.
Yes, and you too.
Yeah. Yeah. Bye.
Bye. All right. In all, I just say that we should all be expectant that everything is going to work out for good. My name is Favor Olorotola. It's been a pleasure here this morning. Have yourself a wonderful, wonderful time. Remember that Solutions FM is having the Christmas grotto, so you can bring your kids down here. But just 50,000 naira, beg your pardon, 3K, you are good to go. Just bring them. You have lots and lots of gifts. Thank you very much. Have yourself a wonderful day. Bye-bye.